All right, looks like we are live on YouTube now. Let me get the stream going over here on Facebook. Let me see, make sure it's going good. All right, got it up over here. All right, got both streams going here. We got YouTube and Facebook right now. I'm keeping an eye on the chat on both of them. Let me see. There we go. All right. Severe storms are starting to now move into parts of Mississippi. We do have a confirmed tornado warning or a confirmed tornado on the ground that is south of the Hazelhurst area, getting close to Interstate 55. But for us here in Alabama, we're still just dealing with. Let me move this on over here. We're still just dealing with this big blob of rain and occasionally some embedded storms within it. Nothing severe from the storm aspect of it, but just basically just looking at a big blob of rain now that's moving into parts of central Alabama, seeing some light shower activity now moving into parts of northern Alabama. It'll be interesting to see how this all pans out, how it will impact the severe weather threat for the Alabama area. I still think the threat, like I've been talking about for the majority of the past 2 days now, is going to generally be west of the state. But the best chance here in Alabama is going to end up being most likely areas west of Interstate 65 and probably south of I-20. I think I-20 and south is going to be a good bet for any severe weather threat for our neck of the woods. Now, further off to the west, I mean, there's going to be issues. There is a PDS tornado watch that is issued now for parts of eastern Texas into Louisiana and Mississippi. Matter of fact, I can count now 3. Let me see if I can actually. Let me get the telestrator tool out. Where is it at? Right here. Start. We've got one here. There's a confirmed tornado here, and then there's another confirmed tornado right over here. So at this moment right now, there are 3 confirmed tornadoes on the ground, and because they're flashing in that purple polygon there that I for the ones I have circled, that's actually where the Weather Service is making the damage threat to this at the considerable level. So once it gets to that threshold, those boxes on here will start to flash purple to highlight that that is a significant threat that is going on there. So right now there are 3 more than likely significant tornadoes on the ground here. One just to the southwest of Alexandria, Louisiana. There's one between Monroe and Wisner, Louisiana, over there just south of I-20. And then there's that third one that is in southern Mississippi that's getting close to the I-55 corridor. And on its current trajectory, it will end up moving probably pretty close to the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. So that one will need to be watched very, very closely over the next several hours. So as we move later on through the evening, let me show you guys the latest model guidance once again. Let me make sure that this is actually refreshed and showing the latest. It was not. So let's back things out now. So this is the latest HRRR model, the HRRR model. Again, it updates every single hour. So you get the latest information very, very quickly here. So as we head later on into the evenings, right now it is 3:30 in the afternoon. And so that's going to be, let's move to 4 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock here. So here's that batch of supercells storms that are trying to get going and continuing to go across parts of southern Mississippi. Still watching this batch of rain that's moving into parts of that would be parts of central and northern Alabama. So I got several screens going on here, just trying to keep things focused. So again, we'll watch to see what that batch of rain across northern Alabama is going to end up doing. I really think that the severe weather risk for the state of Alabama is going to be generally south of I-20, but we'll see. Everybody has a risk right now, so we don't need to let our guard down completely. And then we have these areas of supercells, and then this line of storms that will start to get going here across parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. Most of this, by the time we get to 8 o'clock, should be congealed into what we call a QLCS. It's a quasi-linear convective system. I know that's a big word, but basically that just means it's a very complex line of storms. You get bows, you get kinks, you get embedded supercells within it, you can get tornadoes. There's a lot of stuff that can go on within a QLCS. So those are the type of systems that can really pose a severe weather risk for our area. And these are what we most likely see during our severe weather months during the nighttime here in Alabama, is these line of storms moving on through. So this is 8 p.m. Watching for any cells that try to develop out ahead of the line. You see here at 10 o'clock, there's some cells that are trying to develop here across parts of northeastern Alabama and parts of southern Alabama. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But if you look at the instability values, you see a lot of it, the best instability is going to be pushed further to the southwest. I think there's going to be instability axis that just kind of gets pinched off here, so it can't get further to the north. But there's still a little bit of instability here across parts of northwestern Alabama, so our guard doesn't need to be let down at all. But I think that the amount of instability is too little to have a more robust severe weather risk for the northern part of the state. Here we go across the area at midnight tonight. Tuscaloosa, seeing those storms move on through, now moving into parts of the Decatur and Huntsville metro areas up in northern Alabama. Birmingham metro is starting to see those cells out ahead of the line. I think the cells that we'll really have to watch that develop ahead of the line are going to be across South Alabama. Again, where that best instability is. I don't think the cells that are popping up here across parts of the Huntsville area and Birmingham area are really going to be posing a tornado risk. They could be severe with some large hail. I can see that happening, but I don't think that there's going to be a big tornado risk with any of these out ahead of the line north of Interstate 20. But again, south of Interstate 20, I think that's the zone we'll really have to watch for. As we get into 2 o'clock in the morning, that line of storms now moving into parts of northeastern Alabama, the Sand Mountain and Lookout Mountains areas, Scottsboro, Fort Payne, down towards Gadsden, Anniston, and Oxford, and then eventually down into the southern Birmingham metro areas, talking about Shelby County, and then eventually down into parts of Chilton County, down into the Montgomery area, and then further to the south. Again, still watching any of those cells way down here across southern Alabama. And then by the time we get to 5 o'clock in the morning, the severe weather risk is over for a good chunk of the state. The only exception would be the southeastern portions of Alabama, places like Troy, down to Auburn, Dothan, Enterprise area, Opp area down here across southeastern Alabama will have that severe risk. And then by the time we get to 7, probably even 6 or 7 a.m., I think everything is pretty much out of the state severe-wise, but we will have some clouds and some rain showers during at least part of the day for parts of northern Alabama as we get into your day on Sunday. So that's a look at the latest timing. Let me back things out here, get close to 1 a.m. again, and take a look at the significant tornado parameter. So this is going to be that hot spot, where we'll be looking for that severe weather potential. And again, anytime you get values above 2, that's really when you need to watch for the chance of a tornado. And then once you get into values like 3, 4, really and truly 5 and above, that's kind of the way that I've always kind of seen. And anything about 5 and above is you're really starting to look at a significant tornado risk. And I've seen values on here going as high as 12 sometimes. Funny little backstory. It was, I don't think it was April 27th. I think it was the 2014 outbreak. For the longest time, everybody thought that this parameter was on a scale of 1 to 10. and then all of a sudden it was spitting out 12s, 13s, and 14s, and everybody was like, we had no idea that this actually went beyond 10. So yeah, anytime you get values over 10, that is very, very significant. And you see here, it kind of, you get these little brighter spots here that has some of those values up to 10. That's just the resolution of the model showing the individual cells that if that were to happen, that cell would most likely have a tornado on it. If you have some of those brighter values and some of those little dot areas, that's just the model pinpointing that there could be some significant cells down there that could produce some tornadoes. This is midnight tonight. And again, you see most of the tornado risk is going to be confined here to areas generally south of US 84 here in the state of Alabama. So we're talking, basically that kind of southwestern chunk of the state at about midnight tonight. And then as we head throughout the morning hours, early morning hours, you see the threat starts to fade away as we head later on into the early morning hours. Let me switch you guys back over here to the radar. We'll take a look at the radar real quick. I'm not going to go into like wall-to-wall coverage yet because most of these storms, especially the severe storms, aren't really getting close to the state of Alabama yet. But within a couple of hours, I think we'll start to really look at, breaking down and actually doing some severe weather coverage here once these cells really start getting a little bit closer to the state. So again, give it about a couple of hours, and then we'll probably go and do some wall-to-wall severe weather coverage and track these storms as they move on into our area. Again, the ones that I have circled right there, they're still ongoing. They are confirmed tornadoes that are on the ground, and the Weather Service offices, the reason that they're in that purple polygon areas that I've circled. The big purple polygon, that's the PDS Tornado Watch, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch that the Storm Prediction Center issued. But within that, you see those little tiny purple polygons. Those are actually where the Weather Service is saying that the damage threat to this is considerable. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead. Let me take off the telestration. Clear them off. This way you can kind of see a little bit better. Let's go ahead. Let me take off the national radar and go. Let's take a look at this cell real quick, because this has been ongoing for quite a while, and that is a very good looking. Let me take the watch off. So this is that cell that's south of Jackson, Mississippi. So this is near Brookhaven, Mississippi, right there on Highway 84 and getting close to Interstate 55. So again, this is one of those confirmed tornadoes. Let me take a look at the velocity data real quick, and that is very impressive velocity data. Do we have? I imagine we'll have a debris signature with it, and yeah, sure enough, there is that debris signature right here. So definitely still got a tornado on the ground here, moving towards the Jackson, Mississippi area. I don't know if it will actually get into Jackson, Mississippi, but it's going to be close. I would say that there's a chance that it could get, probably most likely scenario would be eastern side of Jackson, right there near Brandon. That's actually where the Weather Service office in Jackson, Mississippi is located, is in Brandon. So it's possible this just kind of continues to move that way and will impact the eastern part of the Jackson, Mississippi metro area. But still, again, got that CC drop. That's your debris signature. So very, very nice, well-organized supercell going on there. So if you have any loved ones that live near the Jackson, Mississippi area, specifically on the southern side and eastern side, I would definitely give them a heads up to say, hey, that there's a very significant tornado that is heading in that general direction. So just something that we'll have to watch over the coming hours. Let me zoom back out real quick. Again, for us here in Alabama, you are seeing a few showers and storms across parts of western Alabama near Aliceville and Utah, down towards the York, just to the north of York, north of Interstate 2059 there. in parts of Sumter County. And then further to the north, you just have a few showers that are across parts of Winfield, Fayette, and the Hamilton areas. Nothing significant. And again, we'll watch and see how this actually impacts our severe weather risk over the coming hours, if it does at all. But again, I still think for the state of Alabama, the best severe weather threat is going to end up being south of Interstate 20. Everybody in the state has a threat. Everybody needs to stay on their toes and be aware. But I really think that the worst of this stuff that we're seeing here on the radar in regards to the tornado threat, I really think that's going to end up being south of I-20 for the majority of the night here in the state of Alabama. All right, that's the update I got for you guys. It's 3:42 right now. Again, I'll keep an eye on this cell that's moving close to the Jackson, Mississippi area. Again, there's others out there. We're just getting started here with the tornado outbreak aspect of it for areas west of Alabama. But again, we'll be watching these storms as they continue to track to the east. And I'll give it just a little bit, watch these cells continue to progress, and then eventually we'll get into wall-to-wall severe weather coverage, and we'll just kind of track these storms as they move on through. I'll take your questions whenever you have them. Shoot me a message, put a comment on there, and I'll see it and make sure that I'll try to answer it the best I can, and we'll just go with that. So this will be wall-to-wall severe weather coverage, answering your questions, taking a look at things, tracking the storms as they go, and we'll be here through the night. Keeping you guys safe. So again, stay weather aware tonight and have ways to get warnings, and we'll get through this just fine. Until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys a little bit later on today.